obviously the data is only based on those people who do come forward, to be totally frank, but there's numerous research pieces, including independent inquiry into childhood sexual abuse, ICSA, which generally speaking, the findings is it takes roughly 30 years to disclose. If you suffered abuse when you're 10, roughly speaking, you're 40. Now, we know it takes men 4 to 6 years longer than women to disclose. But again, that is an average. And it's only the people who do disclose. So how many people will never talk is likely to be a lot higher. And we appreciate these things that probably are the tip of the iceberg. The reason why people disclose, let's say in their 40s on average for ease, numerous reasons. Sometimes it's because they have children the same age they were when they were abused. So let's say I'm 40 now. I've got a 10-year-old child, let's say. I suffered abuse when I was 10. That can bring it home. Sometimes if they're 40, their parents may have passed away because they're 70, 80, and that enables them to talk. Sometimes it's because they've seen a news story, something in the media, which has triggered them. There's numerous reasons for doing that. But generally speaking, most of our boarding school clients are 40s, 50s, if not older. And one thing which is really important is that when we talk in the media about, come forward and talk, that is right. That's an important step. But ideally, we want people to talk much sooner and being able to obtain that kind of therapeutic support to be able to speak to the police and obtain convictions before abusers pass away. If we can get the average age of disclosure down from 40 years old down to 14, it would make such a big difference because the therapy, the educational support, the criminal system, it would stop other children from suffering abuse. It would hopefully stop that child from the continuation of the abuse and the impact in their lives. It is such an important measure. Saying that, I've been doing this work for over a decade and the average age of disclosure still hasn't moved. So even though more people are coming forward and talking about abuse, they're still disclosing 40s, 50s year olds. We still get people disclosing in their teens and 20s and 30s and so on, but proportionately it's still roughly the same proportion. And that's what's concerning, in that if someone's suffering abuse today, the trauma, the difficulties, the barriers, the people in positions of trust, the fear of being believed, the guilt, the self-blame are the same today in 2024 as they were in 1984. And when we see clients now, 12, 13 speaking to us, it's exactly the same as when we see a 40-year-old man or a 50-year-old woman talk to us about their abuse. So my fear is that the abuse is continuing to roughly the same level. And obviously there's different forums now, digital child abuse images, child abuse videos, AI, and other forums, but people are still disclosing it in their 40s or 50s. Sadly, it doesn't seem to be slowing down, which is a real concern.
Yeah, thank you, Dino. That's extremely sad to hear that there hasn't been much change. And actually, your data on and the ICSA data on the age of coming forward, if you like, correlates almost identically with the age that people start to realize perhaps their school years or their childhood years may or have had an impact on their adult lives. We see most people coming to the Seen and Heard service looking for well-being support, looking for specialist therapists, coming to the connection groups and things like that. They are typically 40 and over, and they are just starting to put the pieces together for those three key reasons. They don't have to protect their parents anymore, which is what a lot of people are doing. They have got kids around that same age, or are perhaps becoming uncles, aunts, and things like that, of kids around about that same age. So you suddenly look down and realize how vulnerable and fragile these young people are, and you think, my God, at that age I was doing X, Y, and Z, or having these things done to me. So it sadly correlates, and at Seen and Heard, we are trying to use the raising of awareness to bring that age down from a harm reduction stance. The harm to the individual, their family, their community, and wider society of getting the right support early is immeasurable. And well, thank you for your work in that area, and for being a legal ambassador for Seen and Heard, and supporting what we're trying to do as well.